Welcome to part 5 of my Let's Play Eric the Unready. And you may notice I'm back at the start because I forgot to do something. Hopefully the audio turns out a little better. I'm not sure what happened. I think I'm doing too much with my computer and it's a piece of junk. And I forgot stuff, so I'm back here. So let's just wait for now. My squire comes in, yada yada, needs to get me, but he forgets me. And then one more time. I also expanded the dimensions, so you should see this full screen now. I don't know why it keeps on minimizing and changing, but it's odd like that. Anywho, so you also need to take the helmet. That's going to be important. Let's take that card too. And leave. Or rather, exit room in this case. Fine, I'll go east. Back to the courtyard. I see the newspaper here. I'm going to take it, but I'm not going to bother reading it necessarily. Alright, so now, when you left me, this is what was happening. The Sergeant-at-Arms appears out of nowhere and drags you into the Union Hall. He takes up a position in the entrance and makes it clear that no one is going to be able to get out until he steps aside. The Union Hall is the place where all the knights come each morning hoping to be assigned some of the day's quests. It's a tired-looking room with a trophy case in one corner and pictures of famous knights along the wall. So, in this case, while the meeting is being conducted, let's examine stuff, because stuff is so endearing to look at. Like, we have a hibachi. Once long ago, many knights rode out on a great quest. Their holy mission was to recover the most sacred artifact known to man, the vessel used at the Last Supper. After a year and a day, one knight returned from the quest mortally wounded. With his dying breath, he asked that the vessel he found be permanently enshrined here in the Union Hall. His will was done, and thanks to his brave deeds, all who enter here are granted the sublime honor of seeing with their own eyes the Holy Grail. You overhear the conversation of some fat old knight sitting in the back of the hall. Soft, I calls him, coddled, one good melee, a few severed limbs, and half of him would go running home to their mamas. So, hibachi's the Holy Grail. Someone's gonna have to explain hibachi to me, because I don't know what that word means. Let's examine some of these pictures, I guess. Examine pictures. Your eye falls on one of the pictures. Sir Gaspar the Hasty, killed in the line of duty during the quest for the Dragon of Cabbage Patch. He was the first to track the infamous beast to its lair. He had snuck up behind the monster and lifted its tail to strike the killing blow, when without warning the dragon broke wind and incinerated the brave knight on the spot. Look at that fancy equipment. In our day we didn't have lances. We had long sticks that we sharpened with our teeth. And helmets. We used kitchen pots on our heads and hoped for the best. Cranky old knights. You can see them over there. Assuming that's the young knight. Also ridiculously ugly knight. Let's examine the sign. Why not? The sign proudly declares this to be the local 704 of the Knights Union. And what about those crossbows? In the old days, all we had were long poles and bits of string. Half the time the thing would break in our hands and we'd send the arrow flying into our stomachs. Then we'd die because we didn't have proper medicine. Not like today, with all them fancy leeches and such. In our day, if we needed to bleed, we'd gnaw a hole in our wrists until we'd hit an artery. After it drained for a while, we'd tie a rag around it real tight and wait for the hand to fall off. Gruesome. Let's see what happens if I talk to the young knights. Why not? I'm waiting. Oh, there we go. Do you think the shop steward might assign me this quest? Absolutely! And monkeys might fly out of your butt! Crude. Won't your neck get stuck if you sit so long in that position? Nonsense! I'm a fully trained knight who can withstand more discomfort than this for hours on end. Which one of you guys keeps short-sheeting my bet? It is gremlins, Sir Eric. Maybe you need some demon begone. Have any of you fought the Stygian dragon? Us? Well, current union regulations discourage excessive personal endangerment. Well, that sounds pointless of knights. Guess I should stop talking now. Not to mention how they run sieges nowadays. Now it's catapult this and battering ram that. In my day, we'd send 500 screaming maniacs running up to the castle wall to form a human pyramid. Then some unlucky bastard would climb up to the top, while the defenders poured boiling oil on his head. Then, if by some chance he made it, they'd hack him to bits with their swords. But did that stop him? No. He'd run to the inner gate and use what was left of his body as a counterweight, so the rest of us could rush in to kill all the livestock and rape the woman. Or was it the other way around? I'm a little fuzzy on the details. Lovely. Raping livestock. Let's talk to these old knights, they're fun. You haven't mentioned how far you walked through the snow to get to school. Oh, it wasn't just the 20 miles through the snow. The hard part was we didn't have any shoes. It was uphill both ways, and we had to carry those darn lead weights. Do you think they might assign this quest to me? You! Ha! If they give you this quest, we'll eat our greaves! What is the maximum airspeed velocity of an unladen Garpathian swallow? Don't be daft, lad! The Garpathian swallow can't fly! Oh, Python humor. Have any of you guys ever fought the Stygian dragon? Us, personally? Well, no, not exactly. But we've seen woodcuts, and it was definitely a lot more fierce in our day than it is now. Is eating oatmeal really the right thing to do? If it's good enough for Sir Wilfrid of Brimley, it's good enough for us. Bye for now. Thanks for chatting with me. The room falls silent as the shop steward comes in. He faces the truth with a pained expression on his face and begins to speak. Oh, it's Eyebrow again. Listen up, men! The king's daughter, Princess L'Oreal the Worthy, has been kidnapped. It's my job to assign one of you knights the task of going out and rescuing her. The quest is especially tricky because of the impending death of King Fudd. For those of you who aren't up on these matters, I remind you of the ancient prophecy that foretold that Fudd will die on his 60th birthday, which is this coming Saturday. Oh, time limit. I hate time limits. Albeit a whole week. The prophecy states that the unmarried princess who is at Fudd's side when he expires shall inherit the kingdom. What this means is that if L'Oreal is not returned here by Saturday noon, the crown shall pass to Queen Morgana's daughter by a previous marriage, Griselda the Hefty. All of you know that the traditional reward for the rescue of a kidnapped princess is half the kingdom and the girl's hand in marriage. Can't help wonder the name Hefty. So, after long and careful consideration of the various talents of all the knights in the realm, I have decided to assign this quest to... Come on, Eyebrow, pick me, Eric the Unready! Yay! I guess. Eric! Shouts one knight. That incompetent! Why, our treasury still hasn't recovered from the cost of rebuilding Ulrich's house with torches. Yes! Shouts another. And Farmer Berthold the Cheap still hasn't figured out how to get that chicken out of his cow's butt. And how can you pick Eric? Silence! Roars the shop steward. The decision has been made, and the decision is final. The knights start to file out of the hall, glowering at you as they pass. Glowering, I say. A few of the older ones are angrily gnawing at their greaves. Soon you are left alone. Well, I guess they warned you about their greaves. I'm kind of glad I don't know what a grieve is. I'm gonna stop it now because I think I'm out of time.